It's early morning on Saturday. Guess what we're doing today? We're going Yamadori. Okay, so there's several things I want to talk about before heading up to the mountains to go Yamadori, especially here in Washington at least. One, you want to be able to get your permit from the rangers. So get a hold of your the local ranger to whatever mountain you're going to, and get you can get a free use permit, or you can pay for any additional trees beyond 5. Make sure you do your research, because they will list out the trees that you can collect within that area, and you can list out the items that you want, either hardwood like conifers or softwood like maples. You can even collect ferns or bark up there. So you can get permits to collect up to a certain amount per year. And if you want more than that, then you can pay for that. I think it's something like $5 for an additional tree, which isn't too bad at all if you do tend to collect a lot. This is actually going to be one of my first trips out in the mountain. I've done lots of Yamadori trips, but not Yamadori trips out in the mountains. And there's some folks who will say, yeah, you should leave nature alone, go and grow your own trees from seed. I get that. For me, as a bonsai artist, I think that you're shortcutting, but for me especially, collecting trees from the wild is more of an adventure. I'm not a logger going out there clear-cutting forests for the sake of wood and killing the trees. Going out there to collect maybe 1 up to 5 trees a year to bring home and add that to your yard as a bonsai. And I find that to be a little bit more acceptable than, don't take anything away from nature. It's two different things to clear cut a forest and then go Yamadori to bring home a tree that then you can enjoy at home. So anyways, like I said, contact your ranger. They will issue a permit. You can tell them the day that you're going to go collect. It's good for 2 weeks, and you within that 2 weeks you can use that permit to collect up to 5 trees, unless you want more. So around this area, we're headed up towards the Snoqualmie, Mount Baker area. There isn't a ton of pines. We have a lot of cedars. We have hemlocks, mountain, and firs. I believe the mountain hemlocks are off the list of collectibles in this area, but you can still get cedars, not yellow cedar, but red cedar, yes. You can get Douglas fir, and I'll have to take a look at the list of varieties that are found out in this area. So today, I'm happy just to bring home anything with kind of nice movement, an old gnarly bark, something with nice shari on it. I'd be happy to bring home any of those types of trees. Doesn't matter the variety. I think I'm just excited just to go today. I'm meeting up with 2 other guys who are local bonsai guys. One is David and the other one is Evan. David is, you can find his Instagram, it's I believe it's West Seattle Bonsai. And Evan, I don't know if he has an Instagram, but I'll check. We're going to meet up with them and then head out to the mountains and go collect. All right, we've made it to the summit of Snoqualmie. I've just met up with Evan and David. We're gonna go Yamadori today. Okay, so we've made it up to where we're gonna start our walk, and we're gonna hike up, just go look for some trees. Right now I see a bunch of beautiful firs, some cedars around. I don't think there's a ton of pines up here, but it'll be fun just to kind of look and see what's available. There too.
I grabbed it it's like really old, growing on a cliffside. You want to lift it up and tell all the roots were just coming off the base.
Yeah. Oh, that's a cool little tree. Yeah.
I mean, it's low enough that you could get some low growth.
Oh yeah. That's a good potential. I mean, all these little guys are here.
Like, this is a sign
interesting.
Like, as we're walking out, if I'm like, have nothing, I'm just like, right.
Yeah. On the way out. Exactly. Those little guys down there. Nice little turns.
Have we reached the top? Maybe we got up and go down to go back up.
I think, yeah. Yes.
Like when that thing gets heavier,
Yeah.
you get down on the ground.
Exactly. Got a natural raft off of this. Beautiful. Very cool. Getting up there. We're seeing light. Lots of light. Oh, look at that tree. Yeah. Oh yeah. Total boonging right here.
Yeah.
Look at that. Very cool. That's hard to tell. Those are different needles, man. They're small.
Yeah.
And they're.
Look at the. This might be a. Is it a fir?
It's not growing out the bottom though.
A little hemlock here. Dig this guy out. It's got great curves at the bottom. Very dense foliage. Should recover well. Alright, we just pulled out this hemlock. It's got a cool clump to it. Ready to bag. First tree of the day. I feel like you always have to keep it first, you know. It's like fishing.
And kids.
Yes. Well, might have to keep all of them. That's the case. They might not want to in some cases, but it's a good sweat out here today. I might have to lose that. It's gonna poke a huge hole. All right. Got a hole there.
You just need a rope and you can tow it behind you. It's nice and flat on the bottom.
I did bring a rope actually.
Oh, did you?
I'll just take that sucker out. Good deal. First bag.
Awesome. Right.
David's found this beautiful hemlock right here. It's almost
beautiful movement.
so much movement.
I love the drop in all the branches.
Yeah.
It's so rad.
And it's got this cool shari. I got to make my way around here to show you. It's almost something that rolled over the tree when I was younger. I just got to strip that area. It's pretty deep. Very cool tree though. Look at that. Just thinking, pondering what to do.
What, like 3.5 feet tall?
Imported my my house. Can you layer these guys?
I don't know. I've never seen any layering on hemlock before.
With pines, it's
Because I think it's an amazing
tough.
tree if the roots were here, and if you could get. I mean, it's amazing
Right.
without that, but that's what.
Yeah,
If I could,
it's a little,
I would want
a little
to,
wispy, but
like if it came out at an angle and had this little cool part.
yeah, not mad at it either. If you can get all these branches down.
yeah, and you're kind of working down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the deadwood on here is what makes the character of the tree,
Right.
you know. Won't come back potentially.
Well, I'll think about it.
All right. Look, David's thinking about it here. It's like
Yeah.
second sight. We're looking for more rock outcroppings, and I think we found it. This cliff right here should be for some cool trees up there. Look at that. Check this out. Beautiful view. Very cool. Beautiful. Yeah, I love these little native flowers.
Look at all these
Oh yeah.
Yeah, skirt this and then do that.
Made it to the top of this peak right here. Look at this view. Beautiful. This manzanita. Completely wrapped around this rock. Amazing. Knick-knick.
Yeah, it's very small.
Yes. Yes. Look at that. Yeah. Okay. Look at this. You see a lake down there, right off the cliff. Beautiful. Jeez. I'm tired, but this view is amazing. Look at it. Oh, this is a very old tree. Amazing. Look at that. Yeah. It's an interesting tree right here. Definitely part of a older tree. Looks like came all the way down this way.
Is that a vine maple right there?
Right next to us? Yep. Let's look at this tree. This thing's got good low branches, thick, gnarly bark. Definitely part of an older tree.
Yeah, it looks like it all died. It has some roots.
Oh
going
yeah,
back.
yeah, that's got something right there.
Yeah. It's an old dead root. Can you tell I'm tired?
We're both tired. This is a great looking tree though. Thick lower branches. Look at that curve down there. Nice tree, David. Very nice. This is going to be an awesome bonsai.
After being locked inside for about 15 months, not exercising, not going to the gym regularly like I used to, I was out of shape and it was time for a break. On this break, I'm actually going to review with you how to recognize some of the different trees here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm not an expert, but I've stayed at a Holiday Inn and I've done a little research, so here you go.
So how do you figure out, what variety is what when you're walking out in the forest and you're doing some tree hunting for yourself? So Western hemlock is actually known as the Washington State tree. They grow very well here in the Pacific Northwest, and they do very well as understory trees under the shade of larger trees. So they're very shade tolerant. You can take a look at the needles here on this tree, and you can see that the scientific name is, I'll put it on the screen. I can't pronounce it myself here, but what it means is that the needles do not have a very uniform look about them. They grow out at kind of different lengths, and they have almost kind of a flatness about it, right? And they're not like a bottle brush, and they're very soft. So these needles are very soft. Okay? And underside of these hemlocks are kind of the silver color to them. See that? And then the Western red cedar is called that because of this very red bark that is found on the tree trunks. These are great understory trees as well, and they get very, very large. It can grow well over 100 feet. The trunks on these things can get extremely large. There's historical photos of these chunks being dug out and then used as basically cabins for people to live in. The foliage here on the red cedar, they're scale-like and flat, kind of like flattened out ferns. So there's a lot of different hemlock varieties, and the two prevalent ones here in the Pacific Northwest are the western hemlock, which I just showed you, and these right here, this tree right here was actually a purchase tree. This is a mountain hemlock. Mountain hemlocks have more of this bottle brush, very short needles, and they're a little bit more uniform and conical compared to the western hemlock. The ends of the tips kind of come out looking like a star or an asterisk. So this is how you tell the difference between the two, and they have very flexible branches because of the snow loads. You know, you can imagine snow would fall onto these branches, and then what they'll do is they'll just fall off and flex like that, so that way they don't break underneath the snow load. And you know, it's because of the high elevation that these are found in, and that's why they've adapted that way, where they get a lot of snow in the mountains. You can see here that the branches on mountain hemlocks, you know, they tend to kind of droop down and then come up like a J. That's also another telling sign that you're looking at a mountain hemlock. Here is a sample of what a alpine fir looks like. I got some growing as landscape material in my yard, and you can take a look at the needles here. The needles kind of grow up like eyelashes, so they all swoop up. They're very short, they're soft to the touch, right? Unlike spruce, touching a spruce is very, well, it hurts because they're very rigid, hard needles and very pointy. Subalpine fir are relatively soft compared to fir, and then they have this shape of a very conical, very nice looking Christmas tree shape. And they actually ground layer relatively easy. So, you know, out in the wild, these bottom branches right here, if they touch the ground, they will ground layer and secure the tree from high winds, and just kind of provide another anchor. That's a very interesting thing about these alpine firs. So if I wanted to create a new one, I can just air layer that relatively easily. That's a pretty cool vine maple right there. Look at all the turns on that sucker. Mm-hmm. I was thinking we were going to walk like miles. I kept everything in the bag. I'm like, if we knew we were just going to hit the car, walk out, hit the car, just grab what I need.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
And now we just much easier to get to. Reader over there.
Well, we got that guy at basically the end of the trail.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like probably 30 paces before David pulled up his tree.
Mm-hmm.
I love this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got caliper on it, it's great.
Yeah.
Throwing some deadwood up there. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, looks like we make it live.
We're off to site number 2. Lots of snow on this road, but looks like some great potential up here. Right off the hillside. David and Evan are already up there. Let's make our way up this hill. Oh yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect. Look at that bend. Woo! This is gorgeous. Just a big monster of a tree. Look at that. Shore pine?
say logical.
Looks.
But the needles are so small.
They're soft too.
Soft, yeah.
Super soft.
Doesn't seem like floor plan.
Found this beautiful cedar here with some nice shari on that trunk. Whew. We'll put this on time lapse to see if we can get some cool shots. Probably not that cool. I'm getting dug out. I'm sweaty as. Oh. I don't think I could have done this without David over here helping me, but we pulled out this beautiful cedar.
Yeah, gorgeous deadwood on that thing.
Amazing deadwood. You just can't mimic this, you know, from nursery trees, and decent amount of roots. I'm ready to bring this guy home and try to turn it into a bonsai in the next few years. So we'll follow the progression of this tree. I'm happy with this. Wasn't looking for cedar, but this right here just caught my eye, and super happy with it. Right on. Woo! I am tired. So I collected 3 trees today. Only collect up to 5, but trees that you can collect, they all have to be around the 3-foot range. I got 2 hemlocks and 1 cedar. All of them have nice movement. That's the main thing that I was looking for. And I had a good time. It's like really just getting out after being locked in for about a year was the best part of this whole trip for me, was just to kind of get out there, enjoy nature, do what I love, which is, looking at trees and playing with trees. And hanging out with a couple of really cool guys. Evan and David were awesome. It was very helpful and supportive. And anytime we found a tree, we were helping each other dig it out. So that was fantastic. I mean, I definitely want to do this maybe once, twice, max a year. I believe in leaving beautiful trees out in nature, but to bring home maybe 1 or 2 trees a year, 3 in this case, just to enjoy, was kind of a fun activity for me. So that was fantastic. I loved it. But it is taxing. It is tiring. I think the hiking part was harder than the digging part, because most of these trees are, they're growing in these like thick humus of mulch from the pines and bark, and just a lot of dead fallen material over the years. So they were relatively easy to get out. It didn't take too long to get them out. Finding the tree was a little bit harder. The digging and the walking was a lot harder, especially when you get to the kind of the steep portions of the hill. But you can find a lot of great trees just actually just driving along the service roads, where a lot of the trees have been damaged by service vehicles or snowpack. They make for some interesting deadwood or movement on the tree. So you don't have to go far away from the service road to find good trees. But with that said, collect responsibly. Get your permits. Don't overdo it. And sometimes you just have to enjoy a beautiful tree. There are some trees out there that were just amazing, and I would rather go there and look at them and enjoy it in nature versus trying to take it home and potentially killing a very beautiful tree. So yeah, that was Yamadori. My first real Yamadori trip. I've done Yamadori a ton, but this was enjoyable. It was really fun. And I've only got another 10 years that I can go out and do this kind of stuff. So I'll do it sparingly, once, twice a year at most, and try to
bring you along the next time as well. All right, guys. Time for the aftercare.
Oh, I am finally home. So I got 3 trees, 2 hemlocks, 1 beautiful red cedar, and I stopped by the Grange to go pick up some pumice, some perlite, some new medium, basically to get these trees into. Here's what happened up there. My old hiking shoes got really old and the soles fell off, so I had no grip out there. But you know, whatever. Totally worth it. I had fun, and I'm tired, but I need to get these trees into some good soil. Do a lot of misting. I'll keep them in the shade for now because we're hitting some higher temperatures. And let's get a move on with that. Well, I've got this kiddie pool here that I'm going to use just to kind of retain some of the water. I'm going to spray these trees down until I can get a couple appropriate size containers for this thing. Okay, I've got my equipment ready for potting. Got the Anderson flats. You see the Anderson flats here, probably about 5-6 inches deep. Lots of drainage holes, so that's important. Got the trees over here. They should fit in there just fine. I've got some pine bark. If you go out in the forest floor, you're gonna see just a ton of mulch. Pine tree, needles, moss combined with fallen trees that have broken down over the years. It's really soft, really fluffy. So I'm adding a little bit of organics into that. Pumice. I had this extra bag here of the ultimate seed starting stuff just to kind of retain some water. Just gonna mix it in as well. And I'm actually going to add some filler here with perlite. It's light and I've got a lot of it, so I'm just gonna use it. All right, here you go. This is the mix. Very light, very loose. It'll drain well. Pine bark, seed starter will add some pretty nice water retention since we're heading into summer where it's going to get really dry here in Seattle. People think we get a lot of rain. We actually very long spells of days in the summer without any rain, and it goes from green to brown very quickly here. Okay, first tree. This is the hemlock clump. They're all growing out of the same root system. It's not the biggest clump, but I thought it was kind of neat. And, you know, the main tree has nice movement, and to me, that's what allured me to it to begin with. So I picked this tree as actually my first tree. And I was just kind of excited just to kind of do some digging and whatnot. So, you know, I wasn't looking super hard to find something very rare, very special. This is pretty common stuff out in the woods. You'll find it literally at every corner here in the Pacific Northwest. common or not, getting to play with a native species is a win in my book. Okay, there it is. Look at that clump right here. This one may be bigger than the Anderson flat. We're going to try to make it work anyways.
Guys, what do you want to play? Why are you guys
Let's cut open the second hemlock. This one I like okay. I did like the twist in the tree. And I found at the second site that we walked to, so for me, going up in the woods like this is a very rare type of occurrence. I'm not going to do it all the time. I think I'll go probably once a year. Being able to get like my limit for the year in one trip would be great. I got 3, you can get 5. But I got this because, you know, I kind of liked the twist and turn on it. You can see the type of the medium that grows in here. This is literally all just kind of like wood chips and moss. Had to tie this tree in with a wire because it's pretty tall and lanky and it tips. And I used all of the stuff that it was growing in out in the woods that I brought back with the root ball so that it can have a very smooth transition from that type of medium that it was growing in into my mix right here. Using my fingers as chopsticks. Once I water this in, it'll soak it up and hopefully fill in some of those back pockets. Okay, that's tree number 2 done. All right, and the last tree that I collected of the day was this beautiful cedar. I wasn't looking for cedar, I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen any cedars that I've wanted to mimic or design. And it was towards the end of the day, and then I saw this guy with this shari on it that just was like, whoa. Made me step back, take a look at it, and it looked amazing. So I decided to pick this as my 3rd and final tree of the day. There it is. I have this other baby growth coming out of it. This one I don't want. I'll leave the other one. This one's damaged during the dig. I'm just gonna cut that guy off. Yep. I'll probably need to prop this one up. just to get it to stand. There's a taproot that's sticking down that's not too great. Straight down. Not a lot of roots on this thing after the soil shook off. Definitely a lot of roots that are going straight down that I don't need. This thing's gonna need a lot of misting. And I think what I'll do is I'm actually going to add some I'm gonna add some Clonex on it. I'm just gonna add a little bit of rooting powder all the way up here, all the way around here. Do it. It should sit a little bit better. Look at that. I'm not sure if this was roots or something it was just kind of sitting on top of, but I'm just going to add it back so you have some of its native soil back. A little bit of it anyways. This thing definitely needs to be tied in. Okay, here's tree number one. Not the first tree I collected, but the second tree that I collected actually. You see here, tree comes out, does this little turn. You know, this is not the final angle on this tree, but you can kind of use your imagination as I spin this. So yeah, I'll probably tilt it at this angle and then work the branches down. Right now, I want the tree to get into good health, and I'm gonna keep it in a nice shady spot to let it recover. This one should do okay. Had good roots to it. The cedar is what I'm more scared of. Let's take a look at the the other trees here. All right, here's the hemlock clump. This is the first tree I saw that I liked, and then I didn't realize all these other little trees were connected to it on the same root system. I've got a perfect slab that I picked up from Tony from the club that I'll use this for. Okay, you kind of have to use your imagination here, but you know, the branches can be worked and wired. But here's the main tree. It's got good movement on it. Taper's good. It's well under 3 feet. And all those little baby trees behind it will be just kind of a bonus. Here's the shady spot that I'll keep the trees in. So right here gets about half day sun. This is where I'll keep it for the next rest of the year, actually. Just let it recover. I won't let it bake. These guys are understory trees, and they survived in dapple sun underneath a large forest of trees that were, you know, well into 50, 70 feet tall. So they don't get full sun. No reason to scorch them right now. Okay, here's my favorite tree of the day, and you know, it was the last tree I got, and I wasn't looking for any kind of cedars, but I hope this guy survives. It doesn't have a ton of roots. I think what it did was it spread out these really deep tap roots that went really far along, but you know, I wasn't trying to collect 10 feet of roots. I want something close to the trunk of the tree. So the root system is fairly weak. What I'll do is maybe I'll trim off some of the really leggy branches. I've got my kids here running all over the place. And then that way it's not perspiring a lot with a ton of foliage. You know, I'll leave a lot of the foliage on there, but you know, the way I'll design it is I'll probably gin the top and then leave a lot of these lower branches to do the final design with. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that collection video, the Yamadori video here in the Pacific Northwest. And you know, if you're going to collect trees in the wild, please do it responsibly. Get your permit, get within your limits, and you know, cover all your holes. Leave all the, you know, the trees that people can enjoy, and don't destroy the environment. So for me, it was more about the adventure of going out to the woods and just kind of getting out. You know, being stuck all year indoors for the last 15, 16 months now has kind of driven me crazy. So I was happy just to get out with kind of like-minded bonsai individuals like David and Evan. They were fantastic guys to go collecting with, and it was really fun. But if you do it, please do it responsibly. Cover all your holes and get your permit. Don't over collect. Leave some of the trees just for the enjoyment of other folks when they go out into that site. So I'll see you next time. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll follow up with these trees, and as they make the recovery, and then in the next couple of years before I touch it, I'm just gonna let it grow, but I will do a follow-up video of when I get a chance to kind of design it, so that'll be fun. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Until the next time. Bye-bye.